people today. They could spend half their lives over 50. That's a lot of living. So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. So your health lives longer.
This is just slow-mo karate?
Just slow-mo karate.
Your money lives longer.
I just bought that.
I just sold that.
And your happiness lives longer. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
Welcome to AARP Illinois' virtual event. It's wonderful to have you with us. AARP is on a mission to connect with individuals across various communities, especially those aged 50 and above. We're here to listen, understand, and address the unique needs of you and your community as we age. Our goal is to enrich your experience by expanding our local activities, providing opportunities for you to discover and engage with all that life has to offer right here in your own community and virtually. As we journey through today's event, we invite you to consider joining our dedicated team of AARP volunteers. It's a chance to make a meaningful impact and help us better serve those 50 plus across the nation. Connect with us and be a part of this vibrant movement toward positive change. Welcome, and let's make this event both fun and transformative.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome to AARP Illinois special virtual event. I'm Courtney Hedderman, Senior Associate State Director for AARP Illinois. And of course, you know I am your Fraud-Fighting Fraudlette. Today, I'm extremely honored to be joined by Andy Ganger, an officer for the Community Outreach Unit for the Lockport Police Department here in Illinois. Officer Andy, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you for being here.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yeah, so with the holiday season in full swing, it's a joyful time. I know we're all having fun, although it's very cold here in Chicago today. But unfortunately, though, it's also a time when scammers and criminals are especially active. Seniors and really anybody of any age are often targeted during this time with schemes and scams that cost money, peace of mind, and even safety. So we're here with Officer Andy to talk about what scams are out there right now, how they're working, what's happening, and really most importantly, how to protect ourselves and our loved ones. So before we get started with our discussion, I'd like to remind our Facebook and YouTube viewers, however you're watching, you can ask questions or make comments, share those in the social media feeds. We'll do our best to address as many of the questions or comments that you have during our conversation. So thank you again. All right, so let's get started, Andy. All right, there it is. It's the holidays, right? Like I just said. And there are criminals and scams that are going on all over the place. And they, it does seem that there, are things that happen around this time. So what kinds of scams are you seeing, especially around the holiday season?
So around the holiday season, the ones that we see a lot are two main ones, and then there's all kinds of different ones that branch off of that. First one is you'll get a cold call from somebody and say, Johnny's in jail, he needs to bond out, right? Mm-hmm. Because how many people around with a call would have a grandson or family member named John, Johnny, or anything like that? Right. Another one would be sweepstakes. Sweepstakes is a huge one. Whether it's a call, an email, a text message, stuff like that. Those are the two huge ones, and there's all kinds of different scams that branch off of those.
Gotcha. Okay, so why do you think that there tends? I would assume, right, that there are scams happening all the time, all throughout the year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there does seem to be a little bit more an uptick during this time of year. Maybe that is right. Maybe that's wrong. So definitely want to hear about that. But then there's also obviously a heavy focus around older adults too. So can you address, is there really truly an uptick, or is it all the time? And are really older adults just more focused heavily anytime, frankly?
Well, I would say it's that the age group we're talking about is for sure all the time targeted, but during the holidays, I think it's twofold. It's two things. One, it's emotion because we're in the holiday season. People are into giving. People are kind of a little more aware and wanting to help others. I think the other thing is knowledge. A lot of the scams that come out there, some people just don't have that requisite knowledge of technology, and these scammers are taught to kind of become your best friend, talk you through things, and get you to click. And all they really do sometimes is need you to just click, and they've got you. They're pretty sophisticated, and they know what they're doing. So I think it's those two things. I think it's emotion, just because of the holidays and the age group as it is. Let's face it, grandparents are our favorite. They were always my favorite. They're my kids' favorite, right?
Right.
And same thing with scammers.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Obviously, without giving specific names and those kinds of things, but can you share maybe a recent example of a scam that's kind of happened around this time that maybe affected someone in the community that you work in?
So one of the ones that we've seen, like I said, we've seen a lot of it here. I know a lot of speaking to other departments, people that have my similar position in their department's community outreach, especially with seniors, is the sweepstakes. So what we call a cold call, which is just somebody you getting a call out of the blue, and they'll say, "Hey, you won, whatever it is. Take your pick. Car, TV, trip." Okay. A lot of times what we've seen is sometimes they'll throw, "Oh, you just won a 7-day Caribbean cruise." Right? But what they do is they'll say, "Hey, you won this cruise, but, right, we need you to cover tax. We need you to cover this or that." And then what they actually do is, instead of it being your actual hard money or a credit card or something like that, they'll talk you through going and getting gift cards. Whether it's not just a Visa gift cards, but sometimes they'll use Target gift cards or they'll use Apple gift cards. Because if you read the fine print of gift cards, what is it? It's a gift. So once it exchanges hands, it's a legal loophole for them to be able to get that money. So the most recent one that jumps out at me with that is we just had somebody that was actually scammed for just under $8,000.
Oh no.
They actually, and yes, some stores will look at you sideways when you walk up and say, "I need $8,000 worth of gift cards."
Yeah.
Sometimes they will because again, it's this time of year, and sometimes people do get gift cards in large amounts, and it's like $250, $500 a piece, something like that. And so that's why they'll do it, simply, again, because of the time of year.
Yep. No, that totally makes sense. Oh my gosh, that breaks my heart. You hear about this all the time. It's so common and it's so easy. Just like you said, they kind of prey on the emotion, right? And it's like, here, somebody's in jail, or, here, you won something, and everybody's really excited. They won they won supposedly a trip or something like that. And they just completely take advantage of that emotion. And ultimately somebody, just, "Oh yeah, this is real. This is true. And yeah, let me go and pay the tax or pay the fee or whatever they're asking for." I think it's more common than probably people realize. Don't you think?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're starting to allude to some of these things in my next question. It's really kind of just about the red flags. Like, so somebody does get that cold call, right? And so, what are some of those red flags people should look out for, whether they're getting maybe a phone call or even an email? Because obviously they could be getting an email as well saying they've won something or whatever.
Well, let's go with emails first. A lot of times what you'll see with emails is the scammers, well, let's say Amazon, for instance, they will put in their email official looking Amazon logos, or pick any eBay, anything. And it will look legitimate. All of the things will, by a quick glance, will look legit. And like I said earlier, once you click, they've got you. You're in. But even in the case, so even with that, there's no rush. There's never a rush. It doesn't mean you have to do it. And if they ever tell you in an email or a phone call, you've only got 30 seconds. No, that's not a thing. Take a minute, take a deep breath, and call. Let's say it's they're calling for AARP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Call the main AARP number and ask. Ask questions if it's somebody that does do a phone call. Because yes, these people are trained and they're pretty good in convincing,
Mm-hmm.
at getting you to talk to them. If you ask simple questions and questions that should be easily verifiable, let's say they start to get a little antsy and say, "Oh, we need to get back on track." No, you don't. Ask the questions. If it's a legitimate phone call, if it's a legitimate charity sweepstakes, anything like that, they will answer your questions. And even then, I would say even then, do your homework, do a little bit of research. Say, you know what? Can I have a callback number?
Mm-hmm.
Research the callback number. If it's AARP, they give you a callback number and you get a hold of someone that you know through AARP, through official channels, and you say, "Hey, this is what I had. This is the number they gave me." They'll be able to tell if that number is legitimate or not for their organization.
Right. Love it. These are all really great tips. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously made reference to gift cards, so I do want to touch upon that again, because I do think that's such a big deal. There's even obviously fraud and whatnot that takes place even through the United States Postal Service, right? So somebody sending a gift card, but obviously there's lots of ways that gift cards are kind of misused. And I don't know about anybody else out there, but I buy gift cards all the time and give that as gifts. So can you share a little bit more about what these criminals are doing to misuse them? You kind of, you obviously shared a little bit. Can you go a little deeper? Because I do think this is a big one.
So if you actually sit and read fine print of a lot of things, especially gift cards, because just look at, like I said earlier, what is in the name? Gift.
Right.
So a legal loophole that they use gift cards is that they will come back and say, well, they gifted me this money. They gifted me an Apple, $2,000 worth of Apple gift cards. They gifted me $2,000 worth of Target gift cards. And unfortunately, like I said, it's a loophole. That's why they do it. But again, that's also the part that is the red flag that we were talking about, that if someone says, "Hey, we're going to give you this, but you just want a 75-inch TV, but we need you to cover the tax and shipping," let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need you to go get $1,500 in Target gift cards or Apple gift cards. Well, if you just want a TV, what do you need Apple gift cards?
Right, for sure.
So that would be the biggest red flag. If someone ever says you need to pay whatever, but we need you to go get a gift card, and as soon as you get to Walmart or you get to the gas station or Target, wherever you would get your gift cards, and they have those big kiosks with thousands of gift cards, right?
Yep.
We'll instruct you what to do. Don't do it, right? It's that old adage: if it looks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it's a duck,
right? 100%.
Especially when it comes to something, I think we can all, I try to tell people to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and think it through logically. Is a gift card going to really get you to where you need to get? Especially, like I said, you just want a TV. Yay. We need to get, you know what? We need you to pay with Apple gift cards.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't, already doesn't make sense, right?
Nothing is right now, immediate, now. If you can take a step back and say, you know what? Give me contact information. I'll call you back. And whether you contact a family member, whether you call your local police department, you can always do that. We take calls like that all the time. You don't just have to call us when something's happened to you. You can call and ask a question. "Hey, this doesn't seem right to me. What do you think?" And an officer would absolutely take that call and say, "You're right. This is something we've seen a lot of lately." And hopefully try and head it off that way so you don't become a victim of it.
Yep. Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. I will share that AARP is actually looking into legislation to help with the gift card scams that take place. And it's kind of centered around, or at least we're still kind of working out language right now, but it is to like put disclosures at those big like kiosks and where, those big spots where there's like thousands of gift cards, like you said, like having disclosures there and some other things, like even, making sure there's like things haven't been tampered. So like I had a friend actually who her son had graduated, got an Apple gift card as a gift, right? Like as a gift, and it was tampered with. So like when they went to use it, like their money wasn't on it anymore. And obviously somebody tampered with it, took that money, whether it was in the store or not, whatever. But sadly they didn't, they couldn't go back to the retail merchant they bought it from, and Apple didn't take responsibility either. So they were like not only out the gift card, but the person who bought it for them was then out too, So I think there's lots of room here for things. I'm just giving a plug for our future work in this area, but gift cards and scams and whatnot seems to be pretty prevalent, and we're looking to, at least make some sort of impact and getting some people protection around this. So just a little sidebar. So anyway, okay. You made reference to, around this time, and I'm no different. I give a lot to, charities and whatnot. And I think that there are quite a bit of, scams and criminals looking to make the money off of these charity scams that go on. And there's obviously, I would, looking at like Giving Tuesday in the beginning of December, like this is a month that people are extremely giving, makes sense, right? So how can someone tell if a charity request is legitimate, and like what should they look out for in that area?
If they're legitimate, like I said, they will never get impatient with you. They will never try to redirect you if you try to change the conversation into asking questions like, hey, where's your office? Do you have a main callback number? All of those things. Is there a website I can go to? I would be kind of careful with the website part of it. Again, I don't mean to use AARP. I've never had a scam with AARP, but it's just
it's okay.
If you simply go to the website and get the contact numbers for a call center or something like that,
right?
They will. I've never had especially a charitable organization that's legitimate, that you call and ask that question. They will know if you look at your phone and you see the number they're calling from and you can give that to them. They will know if that's a legit call from them. If you go just with a brief explanation of what they're asking for and whatnot, they will tell you, because it's a charitable organization, and the last thing they want is their organization to have a negative connotation that would possibly keep people from this time of year and any time of year donating to a charity. So they would absolutely ask those. So what I've always experienced, and I've talked to a few of our guys and other officers from different departments too, is they will try to get you back to the course they want you, because you got to remember, they've got a script that they read from, and it's all kinds of different ways that they go. And if you get them off that script, they're going to try and get you back onto it, right? So if they continually try that should be a huge red flag. And again, if it's a charity and you say, hey, I'm more than willing to give, can I call back? Can I call back? And if it's legitimate, they're going to say absolutely, because it doesn't matter who you talk to. It doesn't matter if you talk to Ed. It doesn't matter if you talk to Kathy. It doesn't matter. As long as it's a charity and the money's going to where it needs to go, no one that works for that charity is going to care.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You obviously probably have heard about, like police and fire, like funds, like there's a charity that's calling in regards to, here, give to your local police and fire. And, obviously if someone received a call like that, should be contacting non-emergency number, but be contacting, their local police and fire to say, is that real or not? Because I've certainly gotten those calls in the past, long time ago, maybe not so recently, but I know those have existed in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you know, and I would always encourage people to know their local police department's non-emergency numbers, whether it's a dispatch center number. Like us, we have two separate ones. We have a non-emergency number that rings to the front office that obviously is manned Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So the girls would answer that, or you have the number for a dispatch center. So either one, especially get to know the one for your front desk of the actual physical police department, if they're separate. Some departments, like ours, is separate. We have dispatch center and we have a front office. But the girls up front will absolutely know, hey, if you call and say, hey, I received a phone call asking for a donation for the Lockport Police Department. Well, we don't do that here. Yeah. Are there departments that do? There might be.
There might be, but there's not as many, or if there's not as much anymore, right?
There are organizations like our union, for instance, our main union, okay, they do ask for donations at certain times of year, but you can have, they will say on behalf of the Lockport Police Department, and sometimes people get a little weary of that and they call. And when that time comes, we let the girls know, we let the guys know, hey, yes, it's legitimate, or no, it's not. It's that simple. It's really, it's simple. It is really that simple. You just call and ask the question. If you never ask a question, the answer is always no. But once you ask the question, then you know.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. We did have a question come through that I'll just read straight. And I think it was because based on something I said, but it says, I'm not clear on how the scammers falsify gift cards that I might purchase off of a rack at a store. And here, do you want to take some of that? And because I think that's based on what I said as my friend used that.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. So sometimes again, the packaging has been compromised, and they take the number off of the gift card. So then they're making a purchase, online, or using that gift card, again, however they're trying to, but they compromise it by either even scratching. Like, that's why there's now like a lot of ones that you have to scratch. But there's some that still exist that just have the numbers, and they will just take the numbers and then they use it. So if you see one, like I always say, like I always look for gift cards that truly look like they have not been touched. Like there's not been like how like if you were using like going whether you go through the line where somebody's there or you're doing a self-checkout, if there's a crease in the little where the barcode is, that means that it's been tampered, or someone's like tried to use it, right? Like I look for something packaging has not been torn off, and again, there's no creases anywhere. Like, Andy, would you say any other advice on that?
No, that's exactly it. Scammers will absolutely do that. And as soon as they get that, again, a lot of them have the 16-digit numbers, just like a normal debit card would. And especially if you see it's been tampered with and it has a PIN number that you need to scratch off with a coin or a key or whatever, especially if that's gone, that's a huge sign. Huge.
100%. Yeah, that's definitely been tampered.
That's just what that's what they do, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they have technology on them, a phone or a little scanner where they can grab a card off the shelf, do it real quick, and put it right back. I wish I knew the ins and outs of it. I'm sure it's quite complicated, yet very easy, especially when you consider how they do it. But absolutely, always, always, always check the packaging. And also, there's nothing to say that if you see a kiosk with a bunch of gift cards on it for whatever it is, Bass Pro, Starbucks, Barnes & Noble, Visa, whatever, you have to take the first one, right?
Right.
You can always dig deep and grab one from the back, take a look at the packaging. And if you see one that has weird packaging and it's been tampered with a little bit, give it to the store clerk. They can always do it ahead of time. Just ask, right? Because usually in the holidays they're hurrying up, but just say, hey, this looks a little weird to me. Can you scan it and see if it's legitimate or not?
Yeah, love it. Great tips. Love it. Want to move to like online shopping, since that's obviously big. I think I bought every gift probably online at this point. Right. So what risks do you think folks face when buying gifts online, and any red flags and any good tips to make sure we're shopping safe?
I would say, in terms of what I personally have heard of and seen and been told about, legitimate websites, right? Legitimate websites are pretty good if you always kind of look up at the top, toolbar. and a lot of times if it's secure, you'll see the little key, or you'll see something that kind of shows that it's secure. You're probably going to be okay. Could someone fake that? Sure. But for the most part, if it's a legitimate website, that kind of stuff, be careful of the stuff that you get through text message that says, click here for this 70% off, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you're on Facebook or any type of social media, sometimes that's exactly how the scammers will do it, is they'll, through Facebook, an ad, or Instagram, an ad. You click on it. And again, all that really needs to be done is the click. So what I always tell people is, if you see it on social media, okay, if it's legitimate, if it is a 75% off sale, if you back out of Facebook, go on the internet, go to the main website for whatever it is, then that 75% will be there. If it's not there, then you know that little pop-up ad or whatever advertisement it is isn't legitimate.
Right. And I even was, obviously there's algorithms when you're online, right? And so, I had already been looking for kind of a specific gift, and I was on Facebook and received essentially an ad, for lack of better words, but it was like the gift I'm looking for essentially, or something that was really similar.
Right.
And I did click on it because I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. Right. And then as I investigated more, I realized, oh yeah, this is not legitimate. I don't feel safe in buying this or whatever, but I was so close to purchasing that thing. Because again, I got excited, like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. And sad to say, that's probably very common, don't you think?
Absolutely. And I'm a police officer. I've been doing this for 20 years. And even I sometimes get caught up in it and go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on. And yeah, like you said, you get to a point and you're excited and you go, but hang on a second. And you back out. Hopefully you can back out with that type of thing before you start entering any of your personal information.
Right.
And again, if it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, it's a duck. There's nothing to say you can't back out. Go on the internet, go to an official website, and see if that is in fact a deal that's going on.
Right. Love it. Obviously we've talked a lot of, red flags, obviously tips and staying safe and stuff, but it happens where we make a mistake. It's an accident. We get fooled. It is what it is. It's an accident, right? We're all human beings and we make mistakes. And so if someone thinks they have been scammed, victimized in any way, they've given their personal information, they've even maybe shared money, however that is, what is the steps that someone should take, especially that very, very first step? What should they do?
First and foremost, you have to try and take emotion out of it, right? Mm-hmm. You have to take the embarrassment out of it. If you feel embarrassed that you feel like you've been scammed, you just have to take that out of the equation, right? So I always tell people, always call us. Call us.
Yep.
We will tell you 100% if something is, and even if it's just a phone call and something sounds like, hey, we need to kind of maybe dig a little bit deeper into this. We'll either have you come to the police department or we'll come to you and you show us what you have. Mm-hmm. I personally have had times where people do that, and it's been a phone call type scam, and I've gotten on the phone with the scammers, and as soon as they hear my voice, click, done.
Yeah.
Never hear from them again, right? Because what they'll do is, unfortunately, they'll just move on to the next person. They have a laundry list of people and phone numbers to call, right? I try to liken it to fishing. Okay, these guys are like fishermen. They stand at a pond with a fishing pole, cast out, try a spot, see if they get a bite. If they get a bite, great. They get a catch.
Yep.
But if they don't, what do? They reel it in. They throw it somewhere else. It's the same thing with these scammers. It's all they're trying to do.
No, that totally makes sense. Okay, so someone could and should be contacting their local law enforcement. So when someone would call, is there anything that someone should expect when calling local law enforcement and reporting? Like anything that someone should make sure they have prepared as they're reporting maybe something?
Especially if you come to us, right? Mm-hmm. Get as much printouts as you can, get as much information as you can, regardless of whether they told you their name is Dan, John, right? They're going to use common stuff. Just try and get the number off your phone. If it shows, it might come private, it might not. And any information that you can give to us, the better, because you got to understand when you come and talk to us, I'm low on the totem pole, right? We take an initial report, we forward it on to the detectives, and the detectives see if there's something they can do. So the more information we can get initially to give to them, the faster and better they can use their resources that they have at their disposal to try and head something off at the pass or catch somebody. Are they most of the time international? Yes, but are there local ones to where you're at? Absolutely there are. And those are the ones that they can go knock, knock, hopefully at some point, and say, hi, this is Detective so-and-so. I need to talk to you. And then there you go.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Obviously there's programming, resources. You've obviously talked about some of the things. But as again, we're part of this series is about, we might all actually have heard these messages before, right? But fraud happens, right? And so we have to continue to learn about it, stay smart, stay safe, all of that stuff. So any other tips or advice on just kind of staying up to speed on this kind of stuff and making sure that, if they're seeing something, hearing something, again, they're hopefully going to stay calm, like you said, and maybe, question. So are any other tips, any other things or resources or programs that you would recommend for someone to stay up on this?
I would say always, always, always talk to your friends, right? 6 degrees of separation. There might be somebody out there that knows somebody that's been a victim of it. You can always come. You see a police officer in a coffee shop and you want to say, hey, officer, I've got a quick question for you. I highly doubt an officer's going to blow you off, right?
Right.
Probably sit and say, sure, what's going on? What do you got? Come to the police department. Come when you see flyers up for community talks. Even if it's something that you're like, I don't know. Doesn't hurt to go listen in, right? Doesn't hurt to go take some time out and get educated a little bit. Go online. Obviously, AARP always has stuff. Wherever you're at, your local county usually has some sort of senior services that will have a plethora of resources for all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've sat sometimes because we're in Will County. I've gone on Will County Senior Services website before, and I can spend tons of time just going through all the things that they have to be able to give people. But yeah, I would say, first and foremost, your best bet is to just come talk to your local police department. There's nothing that says you can't just come ask questions. You don't have to come to us if you're the victim of a crime. Okay, you can come to us for anything, anytime. And if there's something we can do, we'll obviously steer you in whatever direction we need to. And if we can't, we'll try and do what we can there too. But you don't have to come to the police just because you're the victim of a crime or anything like that. Always come to us.
I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I don't think people think of law enforcement that way. They think it's more as someone has, been a victim of a crime or they're seeing a crime happen or something like that, not on the preventative side. And so I think this is a great reminder for everyone, all the things that you guys do. So thank you for all that you do and continue to do. Appreciate you. So, all right, everybody, I can't believe it. That was the fastest 30 minutes ever. This is what happens. These conversations take place and they go faster and faster. So Officer Andy, thank you so much for sharing your insights.
You're welcome.
Obviously, you're extremely well informed and knowledgeable. So your insights really, really are appreciated. Thank you for all that you do in keeping us safe. Appreciate you. Happy holidays to you and your family. Obviously, the holidays are all about joy and family celebration, not stress from scams. So for anybody out there, stay alert, stay informed. It certainly is the best defense. If something feels off, just like Andy said, like if a if it's quacks like a duck, it's a duck, right? So if something feels off, trust your instincts, everyone. Slow down, take a breath, and check before taking any action. We hope this conversation helps keep our community safe and scam-free during this season. Thank you for joining this important conversation. I, again, can't believe this happened so quickly, but Officer Andy, thank you again for sharing your expertise and your service, both in uniform and now in protecting us from fraud.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your time today. Yo, sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely. Anytime. And like I said, please, by all means, contact your local police department with any questions you have anytime.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So we appreciate your time today and your dedication to helping us stay safe, informed, and empowered. So if someone you know has experienced a scam, don't be silent. Report it, talk about it, learn from it. Together we can build a safer and more informed community. So stay alert, everyone, stay connected, and most importantly, stay safe. Thank you for joining us for this enlightening conversation. We look forward to continuing our mission of supporting older adults, caregivers, and the entire aging community in Illinois and across the country. Obviously, this was our last one for 2025. So we will be back in 2026 at the end of January for our very brand new series and sessions in 2026. And I have a very exciting announcement. So definitely tune in, everybody, in January. Big stuff coming from the Fraudlettes. So for more information regarding fraud, you can call 877-908-3360. Again, that's 877-908-3360, or by visiting our website, aarp.org/fraud-watch-network. Again, that's aarp.org/fraud-watch-network. If you would like more information on AARP's upcoming virtual events, you can visit us at aarp.org/il. Everyone, have a wonderful day, wonderful holidays. This concludes our today's